In this lesson, we're going to work on the vent area around the mouth some more. The way we created the original shape around the mouth vent was a little bit tedious. We had to offset the main surface and then use a trim to trim out the main surface. And then we had to use a ruled surface in order to trim out the offset. Well, that was a lot of work to do manually. Although surfacing work is typically a lot of manual work, it's nice to cut it down and use automated features when you can. And this is a time when we can use a little bit of automation. So I'm going to roll forward one more sketch, and that's this sketch 16. Sketch 16 is a series of 3 triangles, and this is meant to be a symmetric pattern, so we're going to apply it on one side of this inset, and then it will automatically be applied on the other side when we mirror it over. But the one problem we're going to have is that this triangle in the center is actually going to straddle the symmetry plane, and we don't have a way of dealing with that directly. I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and cheating is fine in SOLIDWORKS in any case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the extend surface command. And I'm going to grab this surface and extend it just a little ways. The setting I used for that extend surface was the same surface setting. If you use the linear option, you're going to get a break in the surface, which may work, but it's not ideal. Now, in order to use this automated function that I'm talking about here, we're going to have to start out with a split line. Doing this manually, I think you'll agree, once you see what we're going to do, is going to be a lot of work. So let's just get started and create a split line using the projection setting. In the first selection box, select the sketch. In the second selection box, select the face that we just extended, and then right-click to accept. You should have 3 distinct areas, and make sure that this final area is completely within the extended surface. If it's not, then you need to go back and extend the surface just a little bit further. SOLIDWORKS added a function to the surface extrude feature in 2010 that I think a lot of people don't know about. It's kind of a secret, and so as long as you don't tell anybody, I'll tell you what it is right here. We're going to need to start out by showing one of the original sketches that we used to create this part. Go back to the helmet outline side sketch and show that. This has a line in it that establishes a direction that goes pretty much right up the jaw area of the helmet, which is independent from any of the main directions of the part, front, top, or right. Now with this setup, we've got the face extended, we've got the split created, we've got the sketch shown. Activate the extruded surface. If you activate the extruded surface without a sketch selected or active, you're going to get this message. And it gives you a lot of options that may or may not make sense. But what you need to do in this case is to select inside these areas that have been split out. In the direction 1, select inside the direction box and pick this straight line from the sketch that we showed. Make sure it's going the correct direction. So you'll want the preview to go inside the helmet and make this 0.075. Also, add a 15-degree draft to the part. Select the cap end, which will put a cap on the end of these faces. The extrude itself is creating our ruled surface for us, and this cap end is creating the offset and the trim. We also want to delete the original faces, and this is getting rid of another trim because it's going to open up these faces on the outside. The next thing we want to do also is to just click the knit result option, which should also save us another step. When you've got all of that done and your preview looks like mine, click on the OK button. Let's hide both of these sketches that we turned on earlier and take a look at the model. It's pretty good. Saved us a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of extra features, but we've got one thing to take care of, and that's we need to trim this back. So let's use the trim surface, the standard trim, use the right surface as the trim tool, and select the main body as the portion to keep. We had other ways of doing this, but using the extend and then trim gives us geometry that can be mirrored very easily and very cleanly without any repairs.